Welcome back to Talking Sports with Brandon. This is the Week 9 NFL preview video. If you haven't checked out the last two videos, which was the Week 8 recap video and then the Dallas Cowboys video, definitely make sure to check those out. Really good videos. But for this one, we're going to do my five picks again. And again, if you didn't watch the last one, again, make sure to check it out. But in case you didn't watch it, my record is 16, 22, and 2 for the season now. So, I've been saying it for a while, and I know I've been saying it for a while, but we just need a good week. We need something. 3 and 2, 4 and 1 would be great. Just something that would get us over 500 for the week, and then obviously at some point would get us back over 500 for the season. But it has to start this week. I mean, we're halfway through the season. We're more than halfway through the season, I guess. Or I guess this is the halfway point. There's 18 weeks, and this is the ninth week. So this has got to be the week where we get on a string, we get some good things rolling, and stuff starts going our way. But I feel confident about my games. I know I feel like I say that every time, but I do feel confident. And I just saw a tweet that actually I already picked this game, and I felt confident in that game, and I even just got better news from the tweet I just saw. So we'll actually start with that game. Colts at Patriots. I had Patriots minus 4.5, and the tweet that I just saw, I'm recording this on Friday, like 1 o'clock, Jonathan Taylor will not play. So that's great news. I mean, he hasn't been great so far this season. His first game was really good. Other than that, he's been not so great. Now, he's been a little injured as to why he's not playing this week. He's got ankle injuries. The offensive line's not been as good as it's been. The offense as a whole just isn't as good as it's been. Not like it was ever great in years past, but it was at least more competent than it is right now. So, yeah, he's not going to play this week. I know their backup, I think his name's Jackson, I think, like Dane Jackson or Dean Jackson, something like that. I know he played pretty solid. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago when Taylor didn't play. But against the Patriots in New England as well, Sam Ehlinger is now the quarterback. I guess he wasn't terrible last week in his first start against Washington. They did lose the game though, but he wasn't awful. But they only scored 16 points. He was 17 to 23, 201 yards. Wasn't really asked to do much. Makes sense. Didn't and in the stuff that he did, he wasn't spectacular or anything like that. So I kind of I feel like this is running into a Belichick trap. I kind of said that for the Chicago game on Monday night 2 weeks ago, but this one at least he's making a second career start. No Jonathan Taylor. It just kind of seems to fit perfectly into what a Belichick defense and team can do to a quarterback. I mean, Fields, I thought it would work, but he has that running ability. The whole team at least knows that they can run the ball. Like they know that they could run the ball for a lot of yards and kind of beat you like that. And he was in his second year. I think seen a little bit more defense, obviously, than Ellinger has. So I like minus 4.5. I think Mac Jones is the starter going forward. We knew that from last week when they beat the Jets, but he is the starter. So we'll see how he plays. But against this Colts team, I don't see them really putting up more than like 16. I think 20 is their absolute max, to be honest. And I can see the Patriots scoring more than 20 points. I don't think that should be a problem for them. They could run the ball as well with Stevenson. As long as Mac doesn't turn the ball over, there's really no reason for them not to win this game by more than 4.5 points. The Colts aren't that good of a team, and the Patriots, they're not great, but at home with Belichick against basically like a rookie quarterback, it kind of just fits exactly what you'd want if you were to pick a Patriots game, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So that's my first game. Colts at Patriots. Second game, Chargers at Falcons. I minus 3 Chargers. Now, I wasn't even sure if I really wanted to take this game, but there's a lot of teams on buys this week. There's like 6 teams on buys or something like that. So there's not a lot of games to choose from if you're picking 5 games. But the Chargers gotta show something. They gotta show something. I don't think Keenan Allen's gonna play this game. It doesn't look like he's going to. And then Mike Williams, I don't think is going to play this game as well. So they're missing guys on their team, no doubt. But they gotta prove something to me. I mean, their last game was they came off a bye week. They played the Seahawks. They lost the game at home. We talked about that one. They're 4-3. The Falcons are 4-4. I mean, the Falcons aren't that good of a team, and they've been proving a lot of people wrong, including me. But I can't see the Chargers not like you got to put up a performance at some point. I don't care if you have injuries on your team. I know they have big ones. You know, no Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams, no Rashawn Slater, no Joey Bosa, but you got to prove something. You got to prove that if you are a good team and one of the better teams in the AFC, you could win without these guys. You could look better than what they've shown so far this season. So I think it'll be a little bit of a test because the Falcons, they can move the ball. And the one thing that the Chargers defense isn't great at is stopping the run. And that's what the Falcons want to do. They want to run the ball with Mariota, with jet sweeps, end arounds, guys they want to run the ball. And when they finally have enough runs, they beat you down a little bit, you bring another guy into the box or you're dropping a safety, whatever you're doing, that's when they take their deep shots. They're not a team that has great receivers, and Mariota's not this big arm quarterback, but if they can take a shot, they're going to take a shot. And for the most part, so far this season, with them being 4-4, it's been working out. And the defense that isn't great, but it's just playing good. I mean, they're playing good football. So it's going to be a test. I don't really even know if I like this game, but in terms of all the games that are out there, I just had to kind of go with this one. So I'm hoping this one works because I'm kind of just going with the more talented team despite injuries and despite the way that they have been playing. Now, I think coming off the bye helps, at least get some extra time to get focused for this game, but they were expecting Keenan Allen to play and he's not going to, so that definitely hurts. But yeah, Chargers -3. I'm hoping that's the one, if I'm like 2-2, whatever it is, like that could be the deciding game to see if I'm 2-3 or if I'm 3-2. So hopefully that hits because that would be a great way to start. But third game, Seahawks at Cardinals. I have Seattle +1.5. I was very surprised when I saw this. I get it, Arizona's the home team. That obviously that usually means 3 points, but I mean +1.5. I mean I think the Seahawks are a way better team than the Cardinals are, and the Cardinals have shown some life recently with the way that they played against the Saints, even the way they played against the Vikings, despite losing by 8 points. And I think Murray threw 2 picks, and I think they had a fumble as well. In the fourth quarter, at least like late third to fourth, but they've looked better because of Hopkins, and it makes sense. You have a top 5 receiver in the league come back. He's gonna draw doubles. People are gonna put more focus on him. It opens up other guys for getting open, so it makes sense. But I don't think Arizona is better than Seattle. The way that Seattle can move the ball with Metcalf and Lockett, the way they could run it with Walker, Geno's not really turning it over, which is key. They need him not to turn the ball over. And the defense it's not a great defense, but they get after you. They run around. They make plays when they have to. They get sacks. So I'm a little confused, I guess I would say, but I'll take it for the line +1.5. I mean, I think Seattle's going to win this game, to be honest. That's the way I see it. And that would put Seattle at 6-3. I mean, that's a crazy record for Seattle to be 6-3 if they do win this game, which again I think they will. Again, they could even lose by 1 point and I still cover, but I do believe that they will win this game. Arizona. I mean, come on. It was definitely a crazy line when I saw it, and I had to take it. That definitely made most sense. So that's my third game. Fourth game, I got Titans Chiefs. Now, this one's Sunday Night Football. Titans are +11.5, which I don't know why. I feel like that's way too high. Now, I know it's the Chiefs, and I know how obviously explosive they are and how good they are, especially at home, but +11.5 against Tennessee was I think 4 in a row, and they've been playing really good football as of late. Henry's been on a roll. He just won AFC Offensive Player of the Month. He had 200 yards rushing against the Texans last week. Like, I don't know if I like +11.5, like in terms of just the line. Now, I mean, I'm picking the Titans because I think that they can cover that, but I don't know if they'll win the game, but I think they can cover that, and we'll see who the starting quarterback is for them. Last week it was Malik Willis. I think I saw something that said Ryan Tannehill didn't practice on Wednesday, or he was a limited participant. I can't remember exactly what it is. I guess I can try and look it up here, but despite who plays now, if Willis plays, like, I can see why the line would be like that, because he can't really throw the ball, and it's, you're really just running it with him. But so Ryan Tannehill didn't practice Thursday, and actually Derrick Henry didn't practice either on Thursday. I didn't see anything with him. Now, maybe I don't think he's not going to play, but yeah, he said he's fine. He said it's not really that big of an issue. I think they're probably just being cautious with them. So I would assume Derrick Henry's playing. He's full go, full workload for him. I don't think that's any concern there. But Tannehill, it looks like he'll probably end up missing the game. So again, if it's Willis, yeah, they're going to run the ball basically the entire time. Maybe take a couple deep shots or try and do something, maybe some screens for passes, but they're not having Malik Willis drop back 5 steps and just read a defense. They're not going to do that. So definitely expect a heavy workload for Derrick Henry, and even see Malik Willis run the ball too. But the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, I think the Chiefs will win this game, no doubt. But can they? I mean, 11.5. I mean, I think it'll be. I think it'll be a somewhat close game. I don't think it's going to be just a blowout or the Chiefs just do what they usually do and score 3 straight touchdowns and then the game's kind of over. I definitely see it being close at the beginning, and that's what the Titans need. They need to keep it close so that they can run the ball and keep within their game plan and their style. But as soon as they go down 2 touchdowns and you have Malik Willis back there and it's getting kind of late, the fans are really getting into it at Arrowhead. It's going to be tough to stick with the run. They're going to know the run's coming. So that's what's going to get difficult when they're down 14. Now, maybe they could backdoor cover at that point. But I don't really see this game being a blowout. I can't. I think the Titans defense, it's not great. But, Vrabel's got them playing amazing lately. And for them to be 5-2, I mean, the way they looked, if you remember that Bills game, week 2, they got blown out against the Bills. And they were 0-2 at that point. So I guess they've won 5 in a row. But I thought they were done at that point. I thought they were over. They lost 41-7, and that game, if you watched it, was Monday night. It was just up and down the field. It was not even a problem for the Bills. So I don't see that happening again because the way that they've been playing recently, Tennessee. But hopefully, if anything, we get a backdoor cover. If it is a 14 to 17 point game, get it down to 10 points, we cover. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game, but at the same time, if Malik Willis is back there, it probably won't be a close game. But yeah, that's going to be a big one as well for the pick-wise because it's a big spread, and I think it's a good team that's just getting kind of a bad spread against them, which could work out in my favor, so we'll see. But that's my 4th game. Last game, Ravens-Saints, Monday Night Football. I have Ravens minus 2.5. Now, I like this line. Now, I feel like I've been kind of going against the Saints a lot recently, and it's more so just because they have so many injuries. Now, there was news yesterday, which I guess is kind of surprising, but Michael Thomas is out for the season now. So his toe injury that he's had the last couple weeks, I think he played 2 games so far this season. That injury is now, they need surgery, and he's most likely out for the season. That means he's out for the season. Even if he has a chance to come back in the last week, I don't think that would happen. So he's out for the season, Michael Thomas. Another lost season for him. That big contract he signed, the Saints got a lot of money against them, and that does not help when your star wide receiver has played a handful of games during that contract. But that's another story. But for this game, Ravens, they just gotta play they're 5-3, and a lot of people have them as kind of a dark horse Super Bowl team, and it's not like they're a dark horse because they are one of the better teams in the NFL, and they have the explosiveness to make a Super Bowl run, but they just play so up and down. It's even the Bucs game last week down, and again they played last Thursday, so they kind of have a couple extra days if you want to look at it like that, but. They won 27-22 against the Bucs, and the Bucs have been terrible so far this season. They can't even score points. They have the worst rushing attack in NFL history, the Bucs. So it's just, and I know some guys got injured in that game, and I'm pretty sure they're all going to play now. Rashad Bateman is out, I think, for the season, but at least for a month or two. Rashad Bateman is, so that's obviously in a team that doesn't have a lot of weapons on the outside. He was one of their better ones, and now he's out. So that definitely hurts, and I think that hurts them for the long run more, but especially with them not making any trades at the trade deadline. Not even, they got Roquan Smith, but they didn't get a wide receiver. So, but I expect Lamar Jackson to, run the ball. Just be Lamar Jackson. I feel like we haven't had a game where he's just taken it over. I think the last game we kind of had that was the New England game probably a month ago. I think it was week 3, I think it was, where he just took that game over. I think he He threw for a couple touchdowns. He ran for a couple touchdowns. It was just that was a Lamar Jackson type game. That's what I think's gonna happen here. I think that he can kind of just do what he wants to do against this defense and kind of just take the game over. I wouldn't be surprised if it's possibly like a close game. The Saints, they seem to be scoring like just fine without Thomas and Landry and Winston and everyone. So maybe that's the case again. Maybe they can put up like 24 points, I would say, 20, or somewhere around there in the mid 20s. But I see the Ravens scoring like 30 points in this one. And again, the line's minus 2.5 that I have them at. So, I think they can put up 30, and the Ravens defense is amazing. We'll see what Roquan Smith looks like in that defense, how he's able to adjust to that, because they do play a different kind of style of defense. But I think he'll fit in at some point because he is that good of a player. I just don't know if it'll happen right away. But Ravens minus 2.5. I feel confident because I think Lamar, he hasn't had a game like that in a while. So I think this is the time where he does have that game again. And again, Monday Night Football, national, primetime game. I feel like he usually does good in primetime games. So those are my 5 picks. I'll say them again. It's Colts at Patriots, minus 4.5 New England. Chargers at Falcons, minus 3 Los Angeles. Seahawks at Cardinals, plus 1.5 Seattle. Again, that one was very surprising. Titans at Chiefs, plus 11.5 Tennessee. We'll see. We'll see about that. And then Ravens at Saints, minus 2.5 Baltimore. So those are obviously my 5 picks. I think in terms of other games this week, just ones to look out for, I guess. I think Packers-Lions is one to look out because we'll see what the Packers look like. Like, are they still going to be one of these bad teams? Now, you're playing the Lions on the road. Like, they're minus 3.5 Green Bay is. So are you going to prove that you could beat the Lions and at least cover the spread? Or is it going to be another close game, ugly game, where it's maybe 20-17 or something like that? Just an ugly game that you're again played. And even if you won 20-17, you really feel that much better about yourself if you barely beat the Lions by 3 points? I don't know if you really would. You take a win because you need one, but at the same time, that's an ugly win. But I could really see them losing, to be honest. Like, I really could. All they could do is run the ball with Jones, really just Jones. Dillon's really not doing much for them right now, but if the run game's not working for whatever reason, it's just the holes aren't opening up, the defense is playing it better, whatever it is. Like, what can they do offensively? They really can't just like drop back and throw the ball. They can't. So if the run game's not working, I could see the Lions winning this game. Even if the run game is working, I could see the Lions winning, but it'll be way harder because they'll control the clock, they'll have possession, they'll be able to then kind of use play action, maybe take some deep shots. So it definitely opens up the offense more when you can run it, and that helps them because they need it. But we'll have to see what happens. That game's at 1 o'clock in Detroit, like I was saying. So that's one to look out for, I would say. And the other one is Rams-Bucks. Again, 2 teams that are struggling. Rams 3-4, Bucks 3-5. Rematch of last year's divisional round playoff game. We'll see. I mean, again, Rams last week was, I thought, their Super Bowl game against the Niners with a chance to go over 500 and actually be a real competitor for that division. That's not the case anymore, in my opinion. Cooper Kupp's now injured. Now, he's still playing, but he's injured, and he's definitely not fully healthy at all. Stafford, 7 touchdowns, 8 picks for Stafford. That's very bad. No running game. Their top rusher doesn't even have 200 yards on the season. And that's on 50 carries. So that tells you that's not great. That's less than 4 yards a carry. So that's not good. I'll just say the line. I think it's Bucks are minus 3. So basically an even game if they're on neutral site, which makes sense because I don't even know who you would pick in a game like this. Even if you're just doing a pick 'em, like when you pick the Rams, or you pick the Bucks. I like the lean Rams because they kind of have the more star power, and if they do play their best, they probably are better. But I mean, how can you trust? The Rams haven't played one good game so far this season. I mean, they've not played one game offensively, defensively, whatever it is, at an exceptional level. Not even close to that. So it's hard to trust them. The Bucks, it's hard to trust them as well. Like I was talking about, their running attack is the worst in NFL history. They cannot run the ball. And with the way the offensive line is beat up and injured, you can't trust Brady just to drop back and just throw every single time. And they've been trying to do it, and guys haven't been making plays down the field, and just everything's not on the same page. So you just can't do it. It doesn't work out. So if you were really to ask me, I would have no clue who I'd pick to win this game. I guess, like I said, I guess I'd like to say Rams, but I really have no clue. But those are probably the other games to look out for this week. Again, a lot of teams on buys, so it's definitely not the best week for games. Broncos are on a bye. Giants are on a bye. Cowboys are on a bye. A couple other teams as well. So it's just not a great week for games. Niners are on a bye as well. But it's we'll see. And again, my 5 picks, we got to go 3-2 or better. Hopefully we do. I hope we do. But you have to find out in the next video, which will be next week. Next week, it's only going to be 2 videos. It's going to be the recap video and the preview video. The Cowboys video is pushed back to the week after because, like I just said, they're on their bye week, so there's no need to make a video until after their game against the Packers when they come back. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Check out the other videos on this channel, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.